Hi guys, today we're going to be doing this fall mason jar decor and just some orange jars with the burlap wrapped around and it says fall. Hope you enjoy. So this is what you'll need. You'll need some mason jars, some glue sticks, some paint, a sponge, some type of flour, burlap. You can buy a roll, scissors, and I forgot to show, but I did use some twine and I used some beads. You can use beads to weight down the jars. And I started by sponging the paint on, and I did do about 3 coats because it wasn't quite opaque and I didn't want any spots to be seen through, so like I said, I did 3 coats. And once that was all dried, I did cut strips of burlap and I kind of measured out to see how long I needed it. And burlap, it's weaved, so I kind of followed the lines that each fiber is weaved in there, just so that, because we're gonna pull out the edges and you want all the fray to be even. So here I'm measuring to see how wide I want it, the whole band to be. So like I said, I just cut along the lines. I follow in between each strip of fiber. So here I cut the edges because this was actually a table runner, so it was cheaper to buy a roll. So here I pull out the strips. I did three of those, we're gonna call them strings. 3 of those strings out so that it frays and it has that little excess trim on top. And I did put the lids back on. You actually don't have to use the lids. You can pin it all, the rim, if you like, but I wanted to use I felt like it looked more polished, so I put the lid back on all of them. And I did use a little piece of cardboard just so that when I drew on it, just to prevent it from leaking through. I didn't know if I was going to, but I just wanted to be safe. And I'm just doing this handwritten, and you can print out, if you're not good at like drawing, you can print out the letters, but I was just following an image I had and I just colored it in, and I did go over it a couple times just because I wanted it to be dark. You can use paint, permanent marker dries a lot faster and I didn't want to have to wait for the paint to dry, so I just did permanent marker and I did all 4 letters. And see, there's the cardboard. Just want to make sure I didn't cover it, or not cover it, but it going through the burlap. And sorry about the lighting. I think I'm gonna have to get some kind of white poster board or one of those foam poster boards to put underneath, so that I put the piece of burlap as like a backdrop or whatever you want to call it, and it darkened the whole image of the video, so I apologize for that. I was showing that I did want the mason what is it, mason writing symbol, whatever it is, to show in the front, so I hot glued the letter to the front. And then I just did a thin strip of hot glue around. And when, I don't know if this is with burlap, but when I was putting the glue on, it does kind of seep through the little holes in the weave. So just be careful that you don't burn my fingers. By the time I was done, my fingers were covered in hot glue. And I did do the edges instead of just doing like a little line the other way, in the other direction. I had to make sure that it went from top to bottom because it does fray and I didn't want it to fall apart. And you kind of just follow the same process. So for the flowers, I just cut the off so that each stem was individual, and I knew it was gonna be too long, so I just bent them down and I cut them. You can cut them like on the surf stone. I do cut it through, but the wire inside of them isn't really thick, or it is thick, but I mean it's not super thick. So when you cut it with, if you just, what do you call it? If you just like mark it, like try to cut it, just don't cut it through, and then bend them, they like snap really easily, so you don't actually have to cut through them. And I mixed them up so that not the same flowers on all of them, and I kind of just arranged them. Each jar did have 2 of every. I bought 4 bunches of flowers, and each bunch came with 5 flowers, so there's 4 jars, so every jar had 2 of each, or not 2 of one type of flower. But I made sure that each one had 2 of a different one, if that makes any sense, because that's something I like rambling. So I did cut some little pieces of twine and hot glued them together. I just didn't want to move it around, so I hot glued the tips and then wrapped a little piece of twine around to keep it from moving until that they were all attached. So I just, like I said, I wrap it around, and then when that's done, I did put a big dollop of glue at the bottom and glued it to the bottom of the jar. So I was putting the leaves up towards the top because I want it to be a little fuller. I got some of the twine and I cut it long enough to wrap around the mason jar 3 or 4 times. But I did do a little dot of glue in the back, and I folded the piece of twine in half and I put that right in the center and just wrapped it around. So I believe it's 3 times, yeah, 3 times, and then I did a knot. And I do add a little more glue just to keep it from sliding up, so that each wrapping around doesn't fall off, just to keep it secure. And now we're gonna cook. Just kidding. I did add, like I said, beans to the bottom just to add some weight, just because I'm going to put them in a high shelf and I don't want them to be so light that they'd fly off and break. Although if they fall, they're going to shatter anyways, but I mean, I just felt if it had a little weight, it would work out better. And then I did glue some of the flowers, not all of them, like 2 or 3 out of each jar to the rim, just because I felt that they would stay better that way. So I just picked the ones, just the front view looked better, so. So this is the final look. like I said, it's a little fall decor. I hope you guys like it. You can add a lot more flowers if you wanted to. I'm actually thinking I might buy another 1 or 2 bunches to add 3 or so more flowers per each jar. So anyways, I hope you guys liked it, and if you want to watch more, just follow me, subscribe. It would mean a lot, please. Okay, well, see you guys later. Thanks, bye.